we begin tonight with this terrible business in Waimate. This is Dagmar Pitlikova. She was 31 and in New Zealand on her big OE. What happened to her is so horrific that we have no intention of revisiting those details tonight, but we can reveal more details of the man who killed her. As reported elsewhere, in fact just on 3 News, in the year 2000, Jason Frandi received a 3.5-year prison sentence for the abduction of a 19-year-old woman. At the time, he told police it was his intention to commit a crime very similar to the attack he appears to have just committed over the weekend, right down to taking his victim into a forest. But there had been other complaints against Frandi too. We have details of those coming up, but let's cross now live to John Selwood in Waimate. Hi, John.
Hello, John. Well, it is a quiet, still, very cold and sad night here in Waimate. This is Jason Frandi's house where he lived. Behind me, you can't see a lot, obviously it's dark, but I'd just like to draw your attention to some pictures shot earlier in the day of the house. And if you look through the window, you'll see a poster, and that poster seems to be of a snarling panther. And when we saw that this morning, I've got to say, only one word came to mind, and that was predator. And of course, that is what's been discovered. That is what has been confirmed today, that Jason Frandi was indeed a predator. As you've pointed out, that he had previously abducted a 19-year-old with the intention, the express intention, of raping her. Well, the neighbours here knew a different man. I was talking to Nigel at the back. He had spent several years working on a car, restoring it with Jason. He said you couldn't meet a nicer bloke. Across the way, Jenny, she used to wave at him, said he was a man of routine.
Every weekend he was in that garage working on a wee car he's got in there. That's why this weekend was unusual. I saw the silver car come out on Saturday morning and never saw the garage open again. And you could rely on it every weekend. He was out there working on his car.
Well, of course, police found the silver vehicle not too far from the bodies earlier today. They're about 3 kilometres away. Apparently Jason knew this forested area very well. We actually drove up there, and again some pictures of that, and really quite a rugged, twisty terrain. Not somewhere you're going to find if you don't know the area. Jason, it seems, was working there at the time, or at least recently. Really sad actually going up there. It's such a stunningly beautiful place on an autumn day, and such a sombre event which occurred. But the question is, I guess, could it have been foreseen? And I know that's a big question. Could it have been foreseen? But we've also learnt today that Jason was being investigated for child molestation, that police were looking at him. More than that, that potentially in town there may have been an event which set him off, and that police may have been informed. Those questions, well, John, I know you have more information on that.
John Selwood, live from Waimate, thank you so much. Yes, let's look at what we know about Jason Frandi. We have been told that he had sexually assaulted another female. That allegation relates to an event that allegedly took place some time ago. But the alleged victim had only recently confided in someone about it. A complaint was made to the police roughly a fortnight ago. So that complaint, roughly a fortnight old. Frandi was unaware that any complaint had been made until sometime last week. When Frandi learned of that complaint, his reaction was very angry. We've been told the police were called. More than once we've been told and warned that people who knew Frandi had very serious concerns about what he was going to do. Those calls were made as recently as Friday or Saturday. Dagmar Pitlikova appears to have disappeared sometime in the hours after those calls were made. All of this, of course, is breaking news. Joining us now live from Wellington is Assistant Commissioner, Police Commissioner Malcolm Burgess. We really appreciate you joining us on the program. Assistant Commissioner, thank you so much. Can we confirm, did police officers or a police officer in Waimate or the surrounding district receive a phone call saying that they were very worried about Jason Frandi and what he might do?
John, can I just start by offering our sympathies to Dasha's family.
Absolutely.
As a parent myself, I can't imagine anything more devastating than what they're dealing with and what our family are dealing with at the moment.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
In terms of your lead-in, yes, police were investigating an allegation. The details of that we can't really go into to protect the people concerned. There was an agreement between the parties and police that this would be kept under wraps until an appropriate time.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, Mr. Frandi became aware of it on Saturday, is our understanding, police were indeed alerted. An off-duty police officer had a message left on their cell phone or on their phone. They became aware of it just after midday on Saturday, and police then acted promptly to try and find Mr. Frandi, but he was not located until the discovery of the bodies the following day.
This is a terrible business, isn't it? Because he had this previous offence, he'd gone to jail, he seemed to have been living a reasonably ordinary life after his release, except then this information comes to hand, and people who know him are very worried about his reaction when he discovers that there is a new police investigation pending and new accusations against him. They do call the police to say, we're really concerned about this guy and what he might do. What did the local police do once they received that phone call? Do you know?
Well, as you pointed out, this is breaking news. Our best understanding of it is that an officer in Timaru was in fact alerted. They in turn alerted the Waimate police, who went and spoke with the person who'd provided some information, and the detail of that information I'm not entirely clear on, John.
Yeah.
But certainly they alerted us to the fact that they'd spoken with Mr. Frandi. We went to find out what that was all about. And after we'd done that, we went to find Mr. Frandi, and he had left his address and he never returned. So I think the Waimate police acted as soon as they got the information given to them.
And you are confident that is the case, that as soon as they understood the gravity of what was being said about Mr. Frandi's reaction, that they really did leap into action?
I think as soon as they were advised of what had taken place, it wasn't a matter of somebody having to tell them about how serious it was.
Sure.
As soon as they knew that these concerns existed, they acted, and I'm confident that they acted promptly and effectively.
In 1990, in 2000, with the abduction that he didn't complete in 2000, he said that it was his intention at the time to take this 19-year-old woman into a forest and commit crimes against her that I don't think we need to go into in great detail now. 12 years on, he seems to have done exactly that. He seems to have, at some level, been such a sinister character that this was his intention for over a decade. This is just a devastatingly awful crime at every level, isn't it?
It's a pretty chilling scenario, and I guess the thing we can do now is try and make as much sense of it as we can for Dasha's family. And that's certainly what our staff in Waimate are focused on doing at the moment.
Thank you so much. Is there an internal inquiry underway about the events of the last week, I guess?
We're satisfied that the circumstances will be gathered up in the homicide inquiry, and if we need to look at it more closely, obviously we will, but at this stage there is no internal inquiry.
Assistant Police Commissioner Malcolm Burgess, we really appreciate you joining us on the program this evening. Thank you so much.
John.
Thank you.